Hello and welcome to my room. I'm currently in my hometown that I was born and raised in, and I've been asked to create a either written or a video of an about me. I have not rehearsed this or practiced this in any way, so let's see where we go. I'm gonna, before I really, oh, there's a camera. Okay, before I really begin, I'm gonna maybe just cleanse the air and get myself in the spirit. This is something that interests me, something that I'm into. Maybe you'll like it, maybe not. If so, comment. If not, don't comment. Comment, doesn't matter. Okay, it's my sound bowl. Vibrational energy is super healing and cleansing, and sounds are my favorite music in all the world. Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a tree, and it's not around here. I think it's more in the tropical regions. The Palo Santo that is burned for cleansing and purifying energies often has a very sweet smell. They collect this from the branches that have fallen off of the tree in order to not damage or hurt the tree, and it is then dried for a total of 5 or more years. So, let me do a blessing. One that I like to try to do every day, and since it's past midnight, I guess I can make this my blessing for February 6th. Cleansing myself, and my feet, my arms, so I myself am able to bless others by first being pure. Thus, by all the positive actions accumulated throughout the 3 times in the 10 directions, may the pain of every being be completely cleared away. In an aeon of famine, may I myself change into food and drink. May the hungry find food, vital and nutritious, all they desire to satisfy their needs. May the thirsty find water, pure and forever abundant. May the homeless find shelter, with clean, comfortable places to rest their bodies and breathe from fear of harm. May I become the doctor and the medicine and the nurse for all the sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. May every disease in the world never occur again. For as long as sentient beings remain, may I too abide to dispel the pain in the world. May the suffering of living beings ripen solely upon myself. I offer myself to you. Accept me. By this generosity, may negativity be transformed in compassion, love, and kindness. and may all negativity and the effects of harmful actions be purified, and may human beings think about benefiting each other, stirring the realms to its depths. Put this down. Thank you so much for being there with me in a moment of serenity. I really truly enjoy my meditation, my mindfulness, and just being positive in as often as possible. A little about me. I am currently enrolled in a few classes, I think 15 course credits, something like that, 2 business classes, I have a welding class, two mechatronics classes. My schedule is currently Monday through Thursday, which I really truly love because it's been years since I've been to school. I graduated high school in 2004, went off the grid for a few years. When I decided to go to school, it was several years after my high school graduation, and I decided to pursue a degree in visual effects, animation and visual effects, and I got a Bachelor of Applied Science at a school in Emeryville called SAE Expression College for Digital Arts. I was led through the entire pipeline of the visual effects industry, graduated, probably 3 girls out of 20, and specialized in simulation, which is in effects the art of creating like fire and water, smoke, debris, I don't know, you can name it, any one of those, flashing, confetti, like anything that's particulate. So I would create tons of effects and loved it. It was a very difficult field to break into. I spent a total of over 7 years in the field altogether, from 2009, graduated 2012, and I went on to work at a couple different visual effects studios, working my way up the ladder from a PA and a runner, and doing all the fun things like grabbing coffee and running tasks and delivering things and whatever odd request was made of us. It was in 2013 that I moved to Los Angeles from San Francisco, where I was pretty much immediately able to get the job of my dreams in a post-production commercial studio called The Mill Incorporated. And The Mill Incorporated is a post-production commercial house that also does music videos. And they are one of the top commercial studios in Los Angeles, with 4 branches worldwide: Chicago, New York, and London, as well as Los Angeles. So this year actually was the very first year that I have not worked on a Super Bowl commercial. I probably have only really worked on like 6 or 7. I can't really think or keep track anymore, because to me it's not even really important at this time, because I can't think months-wise, I can't think time. Time is super irrelevant, but it's super important at the same time. It all means so much, yet nothing at all. I was laid off back on May 2nd, which was a blessing because I had been there for 3.5 years, and I loved the job, and the people were amazing, and the company just treats the employees so well, with catered lunches all throughout January, and a full refrigerator just with every single kind of like meat and cheese, and you got snacks and teas and coffee brewed all day long, and if you stay late they'll buy you dinner, and if you come in to work on the weekends they'll buy you lunch and or dinner, depending on what time you're there. They really took care of their employees in a very nurturing sense in that way. But it was very close after I started off as a runner run around, doing all the fun tasks, seeing places, meeting people, blah. And then I was promoted 13 months after my hire date into being a visual effects assistant. And I was ecstatic. It was everything I'd ever wanted and everything I was told I could never do. From even teachers, I was told, oh, girls don't make it as a simulation artist. Maybe you should do animation. Maybe you should try modeling. But animation and modeling weren't for me. They were good, and I loved them, and equally difficult in their own regard, but just, I love movement. I love to see how things formulate, even down to the molecular level. So, I started working as a visual effects assistant, and I very quickly found out, after working months and the next year, 10-hour days, 50-hour work weeks, and sometimes longer than that, that I wasn't happy. I didn't actually even like computers. I have the weirdest luck, and I know it could just be putting it out there, and if I believe it, then it's going to make it true, but I had IT technicians tell me that they had never seen the errors that I was somehow creating. I don't know what it is, but it was me headbutting the machine almost every day. And it was great, and I made it work, and I did well, but my heart just wasn't in it fully. And I think near the end, after like this last year in 2017, from January to May, a lot of instances in my life started occurring, and I started becoming super overwhelmed, not with work, but with my life. I was just having some traumatic, emotional, just upsets, and I was getting stalked by somebody that I didn't even know hardly, and I had a flea infestation, and I was finding a lot of bad luck. I think a lot of people can agree that in 2017 it was a year of lessons. So I think 2018 is our reward. I was actually told that by this beautiful woman recently in my hometown, just randomly, who ran into me. I had no idea, and she gave me that as a blessing, and I think that's true for everyone, that 2017 was hard because it was a fast track year in order to grow and learn and develop, into the people we are today. And I wouldn't change a single thing that happened, even though I almost died twice, and I found that the job was too overwhelming with all of this other stuff happening in my life. So I contacted my HR department, and she scheduled an interview with me to discuss whatever it was I had on my mind. And, whatever it was at the time, I ended up postponing a couple times within 2 weeks. And the time I finally came in, I walked in and I saw our head of our office there, and in an HR meeting, he shouldn't have been there. So I was kind of confused, but I just kind of shrugged it off and walked in and sat down anyways. And my HR manager, very calmly, very sweetly, looks at me and she says, I'm so sorry. I know that you had initially scheduled this meeting to talk about whatever it is going on in your life, but instead I have to inform you that today is your last day. And I was a little shocked. I was like, whoa, is this really happening right now? And I asked her, how long did you guys know of this? I couldn't believe that after working for the company for 3.5 years, you don't expect something like that. And that's also a really important lesson, is to no longer expect from anything from anyone. learn to have no expectations and no judgments. If you have no expectations, you can never become disappointed, because the only way we're disappointed is when our own expectations of something that we wanted to have happen in a certain way are not fulfilled. So I actually wanted that. I wanted exactly what she was saying, and for weeks I had been putting it out into the universe, like, I can't do this job anymore, I can't be here in LA anymore, I need some time, I need a break. So I finally had scheduled that HR meeting with her to ask her for some time off, or either just a way to, just calmly or lightly remove myself. And I really hated doing it, because I had been working so long towards where I was at, and anyone would be so just over the moon happy to have been in my position. And I know, and I cherish, and I appreciate all of the people who did and taught me and were patient and took me under their wing and got me to where I was at in that company. But my heart just wasn't there, it wasn't in it. And so it was hard to admit or to give up. I didn't want to give up. In a way, I scheduled my own layoff. I was smiling. I was like, they ended up laying off over 25 people that day. I think spread out from different branches, all of the branches, the layoff was happening. And it was unknown. It was nobody, there was no warning. Nobody knew until that day. And I kept getting messages from mutual friends and colleagues and people who were really high up in the company, who, I don't know if it was just a lottery, if it was by chance, if there was some sort of review that was like decided upon. It was told that it was like a lottery, like random, but who knows how they were really able to decide that. Even my own supervisor, who had got me into the position I was at like 2+ years before, even he was unfortunately terminated. Now, a lot of these people, they loved their jobs, but for me it was a gift, because I was able to get severance pay and my last paycheck right then and there. I was able to collect unemployment, and which they encouraged, and so I did. I collected unemployment. I moved out of put in notice to move out of the apartment that I had and lived in by myself and paid for by myself for the previous 2 years. This place was my dream home, and my little sweetest back house in Inglewood. Sounds ghetto and gangster, but it was honestly the nicest part of Inglewood you probably will ever see. Safe and very, I don't know, it was beautiful. So when I moved away, I traveled. I went on a traveling spree, looked for jobs, and found I didn't want a job in the visual effects industry anymore. I didn't want a job really anywhere near computers. And so I just decided to pursue something different, pursue something new. And that's what I'm doing now at Sierra College. Is I'm currently in, these classes, playing around, most likely, like, not just playing around, because I am serious about learning business, and I'm serious about, going all the way with a mechatronics certification, going all the way with a welding certification. But my main focus this year is to open my own business in the neighboring city of where I was born, and it's going to be a board game shop. So I'm opening a board game shop. I was inspired by a board game shop in Camarillo called Xander's Game House, who has like over 1,000 games open that anyone can go in and pay $5 and they can play all day long. I think they're open from 10 to 10, So they're open 12 hours a day. And with that $5, you can play any one of those games with any peoples, with, you can come, you can go, you can chill, it's whatever, They did meetups there all the time, and birthday parties, and when I stepped into that place, I was so inspired that I knew that that was my next direction. So with this business class and Business B, I am doing what I can to allow myself this knowledge in order to have a fully successful business, because I've always believed in myself, and I've loved the art that I've been able to produce, but I've always had just like a slight fear of success, and for some reason that fear is gone. I am now moving forward so completely and fully, can't think of the word, but I believe in myself, and I know it's going to happen, and I'm not going to let anything get in the way. I won't allow myself expectations, but I won't allow myself to gravitate on the negative, because when you think of negative things, you invite negative things into your life. You think positive, you invite positivity into your life. And now, in a deeper discussion, maybe on another day, somebody might argue, there is no positive or negative, everything's just yin and yang. I agree, but there is positive and negative because we have created labels for positive and negative, just like there is a positive and a negative on a battery. Protons and electrons are positive charge and negative charge. So there is somewhat of a positive and negative. So that's a little bit about me. I'm quirky, so my name's Quirky. That's what I like to go by. And I'm looking forward to learning more with all of my classmates in this class and from my teacher. And I'm so thankful to her because I actually did miss the first couple weeks and was able to add this class just last minute with promises of completing all of the necessary homework assignments and reading in chapters, and I'm just happy to be able to be given this chance to communicate and, just even talk right now in this moment. It is the best moment I have ever had, just like all moments before and just like all moments after. Every single moment is better than the last. Every breath is sweeter, and every day is another day and a chance to start over. Breathe.